Many of us want to eat food with a just and earth-friendly story. We look at labels for clues. Maybe we heard a radio report on the way to the grocery store about new climate predictions, and we suddenly find ourselves stuck in the aisles, pushing a cart past whole milk and organic milk and soy milk and almond milk and oat milk, pondering our carbon footprint and diminishing aquifers and racial justice. When we back up from the lettuce in the produce cooler or the corn chips on the shelves, we see that our options are strongly shaped by policies. As a farmer, I started learning about food policy when I was looking for answers to some big questions. Why was it that so many of the farmers I knew who were taking good care of their ecosystems and growing food for their local communities couldn't make their businesses work? Why was it that I didn't see the racial diversity of my state reflected in the farm owners that I knew? Why was it that it always seemed like the healthiest food was the most expensive? Adamah is a national organization mobilizing the Jewish people to respond to the crises of our time. As part of our mission to build community and cultivate a more sustainable future through collective action, Adamah is a member of the National Sustainable Agriculture Coalition, a grassroots advocacy alliance. Confused by organization names yet? Don't worry, what's important is that you're being invited to join this journey toward addressing those big food system questions. Today we'll get some food and farm policy basics, and then we'll explore some simple ways that you can get involved in shaping federal food and farm policy. Many of the policies that shape our food options, both good and bad, are crafted in a big piece of federal legislation called the Farm Bill. The Farm Bill includes a wide swath of programs, like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, our country's primary hunger safety net, which is covered under the nutrition title. Farm Bill programs under the conservation title are the single biggest source of conservation funding for privately owned land in the U.S. A matrix of credit, insurance, and subsidy programs, often referred to as the farm safety net, are a big part of the Farm Bill. They're important tools for ensuring adequate food supply, although they're structured in ways that too often reward short-sighted agricultural practices. While the Farm Bill covers a lot of ground, there are some topics that significantly impact the food system that are not included because they fall under the jurisdiction of committees other than agriculture. The Farm Bill is a powerful tool. One that prioritizes justice and climate resilience could help the food system bring its emissions to net zero by 2040, adapt to a changing climate, prioritize racial justice, reduce food waste, incentivize land, soil, and water conservation, increase equitable access to fresh food, uplift community-led land use, and food sovereignty. We have an incredible opportunity this year to transform our food system via the Farm Bill. You might be saying, hold the phone. Why is this year so unique? Isn't it always a good idea to make sure my legislators know I want their full support for healthy food that's good for people and the planet? Well, yes, it's never a bad idea to muffle the volume of industry lobbyists with the interests of the public who care about justice and the environment. But this year, a cacophony is particularly critical because the Farm Bill is up for reauthorization. In order to reauthorize the Farm Bill, the House and Senate agricultures each need to draft one. Both of these committees are composed of legislators from both parties, and both are led by the party in power of each respective chamber. This year, that means that the House committee is led by Republicans and the Senate committee is led by Democrats. When the committees are ready, they send their drafts to their full chamber. If the House bill passes the House and the Senate bill passes the Senate, they have to be combined, and only then do they get a full vote, and then voila! If all goes according to plan, which it might, we have a bill. Seem a little too simple? Well, yes, on the ground the process includes a lot of disagreement and bargaining and legislators promising to support one provision in exchange for their colleagues supporting another, and increasingly often, stalemates. As a result of this push and pull, past farm bills have been full of contradictions. If we fill in the pie chart of anonymous-looking names of farm bill titles, we start to see that some programs incentivize pollution like nitrate runoff that has caused a dead zone the size of New Jersey in the Gulf of Mexico, or the 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions that come from agriculture. And that at the same time, there are also subsidies that are structured in ways that incentivize conservation and regeneration of soil and water, and access to healthy fresh food. The legacy of racial and economic injustice in U.S. policy, including a founding history based on land theft and slavery, have led to the staggering statistic that 98% of U.S. farmland is white-owned. There are aspects of Farm Bill programs that thoughtfully seek to address this injustice and all of its consequences, while other programs perpetuate it. These Farm Bill contradictions exist at all because advocates for justice and a livable planet have raised their voices in the face of forces that would have preferred they stay silent. The collective actions of thousands of farmers, consumers, researchers, parents, and so on have demanded Farm Bill programs that benefit people and the planet. The more voices that join the movement, the farther these programs can go. We're going to take a quick look at 7 Farm Bill programs that have been hard-won by advocates. This will not be a comprehensive list of every program at work toward justice and climate resilience authorized by the Farm Bill. Rather, together here, we will get a taste of what advocates have won and where we can build from. Each of these programs that is already at work in the world is like a seed of future transformation, poised for expansion so it can grow in size, depth, and scope. Example number 1. The Conservation Stewardship Program incentivizes farming practices that prioritize the long-term viability of an ecosystem. Some of the improvements that farmers can receive payments for include agroforestry, a climate-smart solution in which tree leaves pull CO2 out of the air and shuttle it down to the ground, while simultaneously offering up healthy, delicious food. Cover cropping is another CSP-eligible practice, a process of planting soil-building cover crops between cash crops protects soil against erosion and feeds soil life. On our farm here at Adamah, we receive payments for the 200 chestnut trees we planted in our goat pasture and for planting mixed species cover crops like the ones you see here to increase biodiversity above and below ground. The beds you see here are not disturbed each year when we plant vegetables in them, and we receive CSP payments to help defray the cost of this soil health practice. Example number 2. The Environmental Quality Incentives Program is another set of incentives for farmers to grow food in ways that don't treat their ecosystem as expendable. The Adamah Hide Tunnel that you see here helps extend our season for fresh market harvest and was purchased with an EQIP grant. EQIP funding can also be used for other important supports to farm systems like composting, irrigation efficiency, and the oh-so-appealingly named important topic of manure management. Example number 3. The GusNIP program is small at present, but it is a particularly elegant way of increasing nutrition security while supporting local food systems. As we mentioned, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program is a critically important part of the Farm Bill, our country's hunger safety net. With SNAP, applicants whose income qualifies receive an EBT card with which they can purchase food. Despite the effectiveness of this program, we face the profound injustice that nutritious, fresh food, a key component of overall health, often remains out of reach for many. GusNIP addresses this, while also expanding sales capacity of fresh market farmers by increasing the benefits of SNAP participants who purchase fresh food directly from farmers. Example number 4. Farmers rely on 10,000 years of on-the-ground research in how to coax food from the land. Indigenous peoples across the globe have developed ingenious systems for feeding communities while regenerating the land. We have to build on this approach together if we are going to find a way to feed billions of people without making our planet inhospitable to us. It matters what factors are motivating experimentation. Are we looking for systems that meet goals like nutrition, soil health, water conservation, reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, and carbon storage? Or are other goals making their way in there, like the profits from selling agrochemicals or fertilizers? Imagine what products would line your grocery store shelves in 30 years if we invest mightily now in research projects toward the public good. The Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Program has funded countless projects that inform the way that we grow food at Adamah, an invaluable resource for regenerative farmer communities. Example number 5. The Farm Bill authorizes the U.S. Department of Agriculture to issue direct and guaranteed loans to farmers, a system historically riddled with racial and gender discrimination and that has disproportionately benefited larger farms. The emergence of microloan options over the past 10 years are a direct result of grassroots calls for small and beginning farmer appropriate USDA lending in the Farm Bill. These loans are a first step toward credit accessibility for small and beginning farmers. Imagine if the farm credit process was truly tailored to help farmers addressing some of the biggest social issues we face today thrive. Example number 6. Heirs property refers to a status of land ownership without legal title. It disproportionately affects African American families throughout the South, accounting for an estimated 1/3 of all Black-owned land. It is also prevalent among Hispanic populations in the Southwest and indigenous communities out west and through Appalachia. The Heirs Property Relending Program was established in the 2018 bill after direct advocacy by groups like the Federation of Southern Cooperatives, and it makes it possible for the first time for heirs property owners to protect their land and access USDA programs. Sometimes corrections for injustice are way deep in the deed tails. Get it? Deed tails, like a legal deed to land? Okay, moving on. Example number 7. The epically named Food Distribution Program on Indian Reservations Self-Determination Demonstration Project is a pilot program hard won by advocates in the 2018 Farm Bill. Through it, 8 tribes are using federal dollars to purchase culturally appropriate food directly from native commercial vendors for food distribution to income-eligible tribal community members. This is a very small program, but it is a critical beginning to the essential process of honoring Indigenous food sovereignty. Okie dokie, so we've seen 7 seeds of Farm Bill transformation. How can you and your community join the movement to water them? Let's get another list of 7 going. This time, 7 opportunities to weigh in on the 2023 Farm Bill reauthorization process. 1. Watch this webinar. Look at that. You're almost done with action item number 1 already. 2. Check out the companion PDF to this webinar for some notes and reminders. 3. Sign up for Chazon's Advocacy Alert email list at chazon.org/stay-in-touch. We'll let you know when your voice is needed without overwhelming your inbox. 4. Call your representatives and ask them to support the Agriculture Resilience Act. This is a roadmap for reducing emissions from agriculture to net zero by 2040. This bill is what is often referred to as a marker bill, a bill that needs to gain momentum on its own so that its provisions will hopefully be swept up into bigger legislation, in this case, the Farm Bill. The ARA lays out the groundwork for centering climate action and equity in the Farm Bill. 5. Attend the Rally for Resilience, March 6th through 8th in Washington, D.C. Demand a just and climate-friendly 2023 Farm Bill along with farmers and eaters from across the country. I've heard a rumor about a rotational grazing demonstration on the lawn of the National Mall. Think flocks of sheep in the shadow of the Capitol. 6. Check out the National Sustainable Agriculture Coalition's Farm Bill platform, a comprehensive, practical vision for a more equitable and resilient food system. Consider endorsing it. You can do it easily online. All right, number 7, rest. You've taken 6 incredible actions toward a more just and climate-friendly food system. The essential work of protecting our beautiful world and of pursuing justice go hand in hand with the experience of pausing to marvel at our profound opportunity to do so. Thanks so much for watching this webinar and for joining the movement to take action toward a more just and sustainable food future. Although Rabbi and activist Abraham Joshua Heschel of blessed memory passed away in 1972, before he ever had the opportunity to doom scroll, I think he captured the experience well in this quote. I think we all have this feeling to some degree when our day is intruded upon by a terrifying new report on the pace of climate chaos, or on the horrifying ways that economic and racial injustice show up in our society. We feel responsible, but we don't always know what to do. When we each replace the doom scroll feed with the phone numbers of our legislators, our collective action makes a real difference.